Welcome back to another exciting episode of Attack Productions Time Wars, and today we're getting into the match of Vegeta taking on Toppo. Can the god of destruction Toppo take down Vegeta, or will Vegeta's instinct and pride still take advantage of this fight? I don't know how to really phrase that correctly, but hey, we'll see what happens. Let's get into it. And like always, there's buttons, links down below. Feel free to click with it there for a reason. And today I'm actually just doing this voiceover by myself, but we do have me playing as Toppo and Steve from Moloko's playing as Vegeta. This is, of course, Starter Deck Vegeta taking on the expansion, I think it was 11 or 12? 12, yes, Toppo, which I think is the only Toppo leader we've ever gotten. So, a little bit about Vegeta. This is the Unison type deck. So, actually, both these decks are kind of Unison based, but Vegeta gives the ability to give double strike to his Unisons. Toppo says, you can only play one battle card per game as long as I have a Unison in play. Well, specific cost of 2, of course. So easy beginning to the game. Putting down the Z extra card, it's just nothing else to play turn 1. And it helps me able to attack on my first turn to get that going there. Now, I will say, I don't 100% know Steven's list when it comes to his deck, but I know Adam checked it out and said it looked good. I know on my end, it's really hard to kind of figure out how to go with this deck because Toppo doesn't really have much of an archetype itself. It's really just get a Unison and play. Now, we have had a few cards come out for it, such as like there was a Dispo, and then there was the one-drop Searcher. I can't remember his name. It's like Herschel or whatever. And then later we got some extra cards like, the Destruction 4-drop Toppo holding Frieza's head. And then we have the Dispo that goes really great with this with the Vegeta Unison. So I did incorporate a lot of those cards, and then let that open a lot of space for just tech. As you see my energy already, we have a couple tech pieces there. Just trying to figure out what to fill in, and went more of a Toppo control deck, where he kind of has a potentially aggro deck. So we'll see how this goes out. Here we're playing the Vegeta Unison, which is kind of the start of the game. It's how you want to awaken, because you just need to spend 2 energy on your Unison, and then your awaken go down to 6, and you restand those 2 energy once more. So that kind of getting the synergy here. Now, as a reminder, this Unison is a very interesting one. Like I said, it does help with the restriction on the leader, where you can only play 1 battle card per turn, but it has additional effects such as its activate main. You choose this card or one of your battle cards, switch it to rest mode, and add 1 marker to this card, which is really great. And this Dispo works really good for it as well, because when this Dispo is switched to rest mode by one of your skills, you switch it back to active mode and choose one of your opponent's battle cards, energy costs 5 or less, in rest mode and KO it, which is really cool. But the -1 on Vegeta is that your opponent can't attack with battle cards with energy costs greater than their current energy until the end of the next turn. So, kind of helps that restriction there. As you see here, we don't really worry about the -1. We go straight into just attacks here, because turn 3 play, there's not a lot of big boys he could play just yet. It's really important for turn 4 plays. So here we're passing over to Steve after getting him down to 5 life. He even charging a card, paying 2, and we get his first Unison on the board. Now this is Piccolo, which just recently got put off the limited list, which I think when he built this deck and we did this match, he wasn't aware of that. So he just has 1 up in his deck, but he has it here. Really good at getting rid of 15k battle cards, because if you activate a counter, you could just, KO that card. Now granted, it doesn't neg, which is good. Playing the 1 and bringing out Gohan, getting some search here. And I've made sure he was aware, like, hey, just keep in mind, you can only play 1 battle card per turn as long as this Unison is on board. So it was kind of like his best play here. Like I said, he's going to get the leader attack and then get a double strike afterwards with it. So it works out in his favor still, like getting plenty of damage. And here we're just kind of go over Dispo and its effects and whatnot, and how it has barriers, so he can't just like target it for stuff naturally. And how it has a permanent where Steve can't attack into the Unison unless he goes into Dispo. Here I'm just double checking the auto, because it's been a while since I've actually seen this leader, even though I knew this was scheduled to be on the channel. I was like, oh, okay, that's what it does, that's right. Comboing out because I know I didn't want to go down from 5 to 3, and I'd rather go down from comfortably 6 to 4. I do think, yeah, that's a pass there going into my turn 3 now. Now he has no targets in rest mode, but we go ahead and proc the Vegeta's activate main to switch Dispo to rest, add a marker to Vegito. Then we attack with Dispo right afterwards, just getting the attack here. Comboing off a skillless, get a draw. And then we swing for the Unison. And really now he's at a point where does he have Explosive Dance? And I'm just trying to see if he wants to activate it or not. And we do get Explosive Dance hitting the board. So we swing the leader here. He does not... I think he holds off on negating. Yeah, he was thinking about it, but he held off on it. But instead he Wolfang Fist. That's what it was. Okay. Which is fine. We combo off a card here because I do want to get one more attack off. So we pay 2 energy for Great Ape Son Gohan, which is a really good card because when this card's played, you draw 1 card, choose a total 2 of your opponent's battle cards and or unisons, both in rest mode, and they can't switch to active mode until the end of your opponent's turn. So we're keeping down his unison locked, which helps me out a lot in his next turn, so he's not swinging a double strike at me. And we will get at least one of these attacks, because this card is a 20k dual attack. So we put the combo card there for just getting this attack out. And we see he took the damage there, and now we're kind of leaving it up, passing the turn. And his unison will be switched back to rest mode as a reminder, hey, I can't switch active mode. Yeah, there it is. Now his next play, I actually will say, caught me off guard. Wasn't really expecting it. I got to re-pull the card back up because I don't 100% remember what it is, but I don't want to forget it to kind of talk about it. So we are playing the Golden Frieza Android 17 determined tag team, which is great in his benefit. Granted, he could have gotten an extra attack out with the Piccolo, but this card does have Empower 2, so it does carry over 2 additional markers onto it. So he pays the 2, so it goes with the 4. And Burst 1, if this card has, which I don't recall if he burst 1, I think he did though. But if this card has 4 more markers, when this card is played, you draw 1 card. Then once per turn, if it's your turn, when a card is placed in your drop area from your deck, add 1 marker to this card and choose to one of your opponent's battle cards, and it gets minus 15,000 power for the turn. Then it has additional minus 4 effect, where it gets plus 5,000 power and triple attack for the turn. So kind of a good boy. And like he's 5 markers now just because of all the autos proccing right then when he played it. So swing of the leader, giving it double strike, and then giving it the triple attack afterwards is going to be very nasty. And we see here, there was no negates happening there, so we did take the leader's attack. So it looks like something was happening in our local, so I did cut a good chunk of nothing happening. I think we were recording this beforehand, but he did do the minus 4. He did swing with it. Come on, had double strike, but I also play a Unison deck, so we have Release from Evil, which if you have a yellow Unison card in play, it's practically free to play. And what it does is just ignoring barrier and negates the skills for the turn, and it can't be switch active mode, so it kind of just locks on that card right then and there. If I didn't have that card in my hand, that would be a very interesting turn. I don't know if I had Flying Nimbus in my hand at the time or some other form of protection, which actually Flying Nimbus will only stop at Unisons. Or, I mean, I didn't know if I had the Turles, which at the time I don't think I even had enough cards in my Z energy. So yeah, like if I didn't have Release from Evil, that would have been a very devastating turn. But we are passing it over, going to my turn 4. Leaving him open with 2 open energy right now. Using the Unison, obviously, get the marker boost. Playing, getting Dispo, switch, bring it back, and we start the attacks with Dispo here. Getting hit with another Explosive Dance definitely hurts. So we are changing up a little bit. We're swinging up the leader here, seeing what he does from here. And we are getting a King Vegeta's negate on top of that, which could have been free. It's been a bit. I don't remember if you take a life for it or not, but he is at 3 life. He has a Saiyan leader. I think it is free to do. I just don't remember what the free cost was for it. Imposing Presence is the card's name. If you have 3 or less lives, you can access cards in your hand without paying energy cost by choosing 1 card in your hand. Discarding it. Maybe you didn't want to discard a card because you had the open energy for it. But it does kind of slow my turn now down. So instead, we play the Son Goku Absolute Annihilation. Like I said, because they're so limited on what... Like, I could have gone a full Universe 11 deck with like the 2-drop minion deck. But you only play 1 card at a time. So like it's better going the control route when it comes to Toppo. And after seeing Fluff play this deck for so much, that's kind of just what I instinctively went with. So playing Absolute Annihilation, it has the Deflect, it has Barrier, Unique, so you only have 1 board, but it restricts your opponent's extra cards. So they have to switch another energy to rest mode in order to play extra cards. We end up passing after playing the Absolute Annihilation Goku, going into his turn 5. We are tied to life 3-3. We haven't seen much battle cards being played on Steve's side yet, though, just because he just had the Gohan there, which has been great when he combos cards off, getting draws for it. I think it's just when he combos a Universe 7 card, he gets immediately draw. So we get a peek at his hand right here. We see a few options. The question is, what order does he want to take this? Swing of the leader right off the bat. And it looks like no negates are being activated right now, so we are going to go into this turn, or this attack. It's like a combo out happened, followed up with the Unison attack, which now has double strike. He's comboing up. I don't remember my hand being too healthy right now. But here he's playing 2 energy for this Son Goku, which is a 4-drop. But I'm going to activate a counterplay that has an auto. But this Goku doesn't have barrier. I think it has deflect, so it has no protection on other things. But the auto will still get around that and still target him. So it pretty much blanks the card and makes the card kind of useless. He still gets the 5k boost because it's all in the activate main part. Because he still gets to choose a card. I think it's like you play a card, choose a card, it gets 5k boost. So he's choosing itself in this situation, but it has no other skills here. And now I have a 24k blocker on board protecting me. And I will end up taking the 2 life because he's only, from the looks of it, getting 1 more attack. I don't know what else he could do here. Got some sirens in the background. So in hindsight, Steve, as some people do when you play against Toppo Lock, you forget about the lock. And he went to go play this SSB Vegeta to get rid of the Goku on my board. And he realized, oh, I probably should have done that instead of playing this card, because it just makes, like, having negates is great, but if you have to pay an extra energy, even if, like, say it's testing the opposition, like, you could take a life, but you still need to pay energy for it. So here we are blocking this attack. And he is a 25k, so I do need to combo 1 card off if I want to keep this card on board, which I do. We are passing turn here. Going into my turn 5 now. Charging a prideful transformation Vegeta. Going into the Unison's effect to switch a card to rest mode. Getting rid of his 4-drop Goku, which I know it has only protection during your turn from being removed. I think it's your turn from being removed by skills, but not during your opponent's turn, if correct. And here we're starting off with the Sin attack, because I figured he was going to have some form of negate to go after. But this Vegeta is interesting because I explained to him, I was like, okay, you have to take a life to make this free. And if you want to commit to this play, it will lose blocker, but it still negates the attack. So in hindsight, I don't, and I think even Steve like realized like afterwards, like he committed to it, and I think he realized that wasn't something that should have been committed to. Actually, does it not stop the attack? Because he comboed a card. So we do a swing again because, like I said, it restands my Sin. And here we're just either just applying pressure with attacks just because we have the attack space for it. Here's Vegeta's power release. Play this card and choose one of your cards and gets plus 30,000 power for the battle. So I guess he chose the leader. The 30k battle, but he still comboed a card off for the draw. That's what it was. And I think also like in the moment, it was kind of like I don't want to say panic, but it was kind of like just so much is happening and like so much like denial is occurring and restrictions that he didn't need to combo that card off. He could have saved that card for another attack to combo out of. And I think we talked about that afterwards, just kind of like things that could have been done differently. I think we were just catching the game space there. Yeah, so getting the secondary attack out. There's a little bit of confusion that occurred there. I don't remember exactly what it was, but yeah, we're caught up now. So the second attack has been gone through, and I think we're just waiting to see if he wants to combo out of it or not right now, or activate an extra card. And I think he's heavily debating about activating homicidal clones, but if he were to do that, he would have to take a life and still switch energy to rest mode. So instead, he just comboed out of the attack and leave it be. For the first attack here on the ape, he does do testing, and I remind him once again, the negate will still go off, but no card will be played due to the Vegeta's restriction. And once again, he's in this situation like, is it worth negating it? Now, granted, it's a single strike attack. It's not worth taking the life for it. It's better to pay the 3 energy if you have nothing else to do. But instead, he plays 2 energy for this negate, which I think negs a card by 15k for the turn. Or might have been 5k for the turn. So here we're using Successor to play Gogeta. And I think I have him rip the 2 cards to get double strike here. And we just swing and he negates. Doesn't get the a token, unfortunately, because it consists of playing a battle card. But I swing up to Unison here. He's tapped out and it's boosting. I think I did the -3 or 4 on the Unison to give it the power boost. And then we're using the Jiren to also, not Jiren, but sorry, Spirit Fury to give it an additional power boost for the turn, if I recall correctly, which is just ridiculous. And here we're just super comboing out. And like, yeah, that's pretty much game. So yeah, in this case, Toppo, Power Destruction, was able to overcome Vegeta's might. And I was just showcasing, I think here, like, oh, I had one more like play afterwards, but that's hearsay. But yeah, thank you all for tuning in. Hope you all enjoyed today's match. And yeah, that's it. Until next time.